Hi, this is James Grass, and this is my Lab 1 lab report. In this lab, I worked with tape to learn and demonstrate a few concepts. I covered the idea of charge, found a way to experiment with household items, made estimates, simplified assumptions, and learned about the excess charge on everyday objects. In this lab, I charged a tape and then analyzed its charge throughout a few experiments. I let it hang and brought my hand near it. I saw if it could make a horizontal piece of tape rise, and I calculated the tape's charge. Before starting, I assumed that the charged tapes would repel each other. I made both of the tapes, and they did repel each other. I also found out that a charged tape was attracted to neutral objects. If a pen was negatively charged and brought near the tape and they were attracted, then the tape would be positive. If it repelled it, the tape would be negative. Since the tape was repelled by the pen, the tape is negative. Because tape B rose when I placed tape A under it, the force due to the electric field was greater than gravity. I also calculated the mass of tape B to be 0.1 grams. I was given these equations, and they allowed me to get the following results. I found that the magnitude of gravitational force on tape B was 0.00098 newtons. I found that 1.2 centimeters below tape B was the farthest position from tape B at which tape B began to float. I found that the charge of tape B was negative, and it was 3.9698 times 10 to the negative 9th coulombs, and I calculated there to be 82.47487 times 10 to the 10th excess electrons on tape B. All of the scratch work to that is in my code, as I used GlowScript to run my calculations. I found the number of atoms on the sticky side of the tape to be 2 times 10 to the 17th, which resulted in a ratio of the number of excess electrons to the number of atoms on the sticky surface to be 1.23744 times 10 to the negative 7th. To find this calculation, I had to assume that the electrons came only from the surface atoms, also that the force from the electric field was the same as the force of gravity and not greater, because my reference point was the point at which the tape A caused a force equal to gravity. As in further than that was when the tape would rise more, and have a stronger force pulling it up. As opposed to the questions I was asked to answer, one of the questions was what was the magnitude of the charge on one piece of tape. The charge was negative and had a magnitude of 3.9598 times 10 to the negative 9th. The assumptions I made are listed below. If electrons had positive charge and protons had negative charges, the tape would still repel each other, but the charges of the tape would be positive instead of negative. The more you handle the tape, the more charge is grounded through your body. That means the original charge will decrease until it's zero while you are handling it. Same thing occurs when tape is attracted to objects such as a table. That's why it's important to handle the charged tapes as little as possible. Here is my print window as the result of my code. And here's a few slides with all of my code. And that is the end of my lab report. Thank you.